Welcome back to the Upper Tier Podcast, the football podcast we bring you each and every week on the Dynamo Podcast Network. Head over to YouTube, smash that subscribe and bell notification button. Audio versions of the show are available through Anchor. And if you'd like to contact the show, you'll find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at the Upper Tier. Joining me tonight for our Euro 2020 roundup, group stages done and dusted. Last 16 completed in the Dynamo Kelly. How are we, Ian?
Very well after that game. Jesus, maybe you'd swear it was your actual local club watching some of these matches, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Also joining me all the way from Ballyfaskin down in Limerick, a man who generally doesn't show up on the football shows, mainly the wrestling shows, all the way for Pro Wrestling Defined, no doubt. Jonathan O'Dwyer. How you doing, Jonathan?
Doing great, man. Great to be on with you again. Good to chat some football, bud.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Absolute madness tonight, wasn't it? When you think about it, like who would have called 2-2 and 2-2 tonight? I wouldn't have had a clue. Having said that, I looked at this group today, Ian, and I hadn't got a clue who was going to go through. To be honest, really.
I mean, although you know me, Noel, like Italy is always going to be my team.
Oh wow, I'm with you there. Actually,
yeah,
I've always loved the Italians as well.
Noel knows that as well. Yeah, I'm an Italian man, but at the same, Italian football man. But I'm also I do love Germany as well. So I was like, right, they'd be the two teams that I would want to see kind of progressing as much as I could see. And I was kind of, I just had a sneaky feeling that Germany were going to sneak through tonight. And I think people always make the mistake because sometimes Germany do struggle through the group. But like when it's knockout football, Germany just some sort of like weird. I don't know whether it's just some sort of chip in their brain that they just switch it on and go, all right, let's turn it up to 11 now.
You know? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But you're looking as well, Jonathan. I mean, the English must be saying, "Geez, we can't fucking get away from these Germans, can we?"
Yeah, like England are going home now to Germany, you know, and it's going to be Kai Havertz that does it.
Yeah, it's just it's mad. Like it's like. You can be nearly guaranteed somewhere along the line England and Germany's going to come together, isn't it? It's just
most likely. Yeah. It has to. I think it'll be an interesting game because, like England, like he's playing that bit more defensive. It actually could end up paying off eventually. Like if they can get the counter attack going, you know, that bit better and get Kane that bit sharper. They could end up being a dark horse this time. I know, like they say it every freaking tournament. You know, football's coming home. The whole. You know, the whole meme, like, but I don't know. I have a sneaking feeling that they might actually go far in this one.
Who?
England.
No, I think they get destroyed by Germany now. You know what? It's going to be a goal where it bounces off Timo Werner's arse or something.
Yeah.
And he gets redemption to all the British pundits and just be like...
Do you know, isn't it one of those ones where, like, it's going to be like Jadon Sancho is going to miss a penalty.
Yeah,
penalty shootout or something.
And then sign for United the next day.
Yeah, for half the price.
You know what? You're probably fucking right.
The value drops then, and United go, we're not signing you just yet. I think we can take 10 million off now.
I visions of Jadon Sancho doing a Pizza Hut ad with a brown bag over him, like dashing Cody Rhodes or something like that. You know?
Can we just talk a little bit about, just for a second, just on England and the fact that I felt very bad for Scotland yesterday because, I mean, they missed their MVP and Billy Gilmore. I know, obviously, I'm a Chelsea fan, but I've been raving about this kid for a long time, Noel, as you know.
And rightly standing against England.
And rightly so. I mean, we were talking about Mason Mount and you know, Harry Kane and all these boys. Like, I knew as soon as Billy Gilmore was in my fantasy team, and I wasn't even expecting him to be fit for that day because the fantasy team lie to you. They tell you players are injured and they're not.
Yeah.
And it was literally 5 minutes I saw the team sheet. I said, get the fuck back in there. But no, I was heartbroken with that. And you see, I'm sure everyone is seeing the controversy now and the statements from Peter Cech and some of the English media as well. And they're saying it's an absolute disgrace what's going on here. I think whoever's in control of this coronavirus thing now needs to really reevaluate how they're going about this whole shindig, because Billy Gilmore gets coronavirus, you know, and then the other two Chelsea players get coronavirus and nobody else in the whole system gets it. Like, Peter Cech came out and said, how? Please explain to me. Steve Clark is hugging the shit out of their manager is hugging the shit out of Billy Gilmore at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Nothing. I'd love to know.
Do you know what I can't understand? And when I read this story, I couldn't believe it as well.
It's mad, isn't it?
But not even that. I was kind of thinking here we have Euro 2020, right? So it's a year late. So we've an extra year to prepare for this.
Yeah.
How is this whole system not totally vaccinated at this stage? How are all these players not vaccinated? Managers not vaccinated? Coaches, staff, everything, anyone to do with Euro 2020, officials.
But no,
whatever it is, how are they all not vaccinated?
How after a match where you've just got man of the match, basically like probably one of the midfield performances of the tournament, to be fair. I mean, when Roy Keane is raving about you, there's something to be said, you know what I mean? Because for me, Roy Keane is the mecca of midfielders. And I'm just thinking to myself, you've just had the match and then all of a sudden you get told you've coronavirus after it. Like you're told you have it. Like I really don't see the logic in this or how it's. There just seems to be no transparency in all of this. Like and as you said, Noel, you're right. Like, well, not everyone wants to get vaccinated, Noel. That's the thing.
Yeah, but I think if you're a professional sports athlete at that level, it's a different situation.
No, not necessarily. I don't believe so. But I mean, they're still human beings at the end of the day. You have a choice to do that. Like, listen, this isn't line up and get your stamp kind of deal.
No, but what I'm saying is if you're going into a tournament like this where you're going to be mixing, say, with the likes of Russia and North Macedonia and all these type of different teams and stuff like that, you're not.
Well, look at Hungary. Hungary haven't had one case and they haven't they haven't been in lockdown once and there's no masks. So look, I think that's a different conversation for a different type of podcast, personally. But I think when it comes to the vaccination kind of stuff, I think that's just expected by a certain left-wing media that you have to get it, and I think that's
I wouldn't be saying have to get it. What I'm saying is I would have expected sportsmen, like when you're talking about this or the Olympics or the World Cup or something like that that's coming up, you would have expected that those men, those athletes, all those people would take as many steps as they can. Now, whether you believe in the virus or you believe in the vaccine or any of that kind of stuff, that's a different conversation.
Oh yeah, that's a different.
But if something's available to you, you would have thought. I mean, we've seen it as well with Spain. I mean, Spain had an outbreak of it as well, and I think I think it was back during the Champions League time or something like that. They had an outbreak. Barcelona had an outbreak.
That was a long time ago, though. Yeah.
Biscuits. And I was thinking, how do Barcelona? How are all those boys not vaccinated? Especially with how hard Spain got hit with it. You would have thought those boys would be at the forefront of it.
Well, I think again that kind of proves to you that there's no guaranteed science behind the vaccination either. Because certain top level people don't want to get it yet. You know what I mean? So
well, see, it's not that. It's the vaccine doesn't stop you getting it. It just stops you getting really, really sick from it. Apparently.
Well, yeah, because colds and flus are gone now. They don't exist anymore. All that kind of stuff is gone now. So but anyway, let's move along so we don't get too political. Because you'll have me going on this now.
I know. I was going to chime in there as well.
I know. Jono's with me on this. We've talked. Hay fever's gone. Colds are 100%. Gone. Fevers are gone. Just all coronavirus. And don't forget that Indian variant and the Guatemalan variant.
Yeah. Oh, and what's the latest one? There's a new one.
Oh no, the Jamaican one is to come in 2 months. So it's all ready.
The Euro Championships one will be on the way too at the end of the
tournament. There you go.
Well. There you go.
Yeah.
Football.
Well, Hungary are still singing, going.
And we'll have the Qatar one in advance.
Yeah. You know where there is none though? Texas. Anyway, come on.
Yes.
Jonathan, for me, I suppose I'm looking down at the teams that have gone out. So you have Turkey, Russia, North Macedonia, Scotland, Poland, and Hungary. Poland, for me, is a bit of a shock. Russia is a bit of a shock. And Turkey was a huge shock because they were just woeful. And I expected a lot more from Turkey. What was your thinking on those ones?
Poland and Russia. They were the two surprise ones for me. I always like to see Russia go a bit far, just because I absolutely love their national anthem. I love hearing it before the matches. But I was surprised with Poland. Lewandowski scored a cracker there today as well. It's kind of sad, it's just a pity when players like that, they're in you know, they're probably never going to get the big trophies. Like they're just, you know, in the wrong countries, you know.
Yeah.
But those were surprises. It would have been a funny one if Hungary went through tonight. Like, you know, that was close. You know, that whole group, I mean, like that could have went any which way tonight. Like, you know, that was really, really interesting watching, like, you know, but I think Ian made a good point earlier on about like Germany can kind of struggle through in the group stages, and then in the knockouts, then they just come alive. And I think that's probably the case. I can probably see it's either going to be Italy, Germany final, or I think the same might be true of Portugal. Portugal might come more alive as the tournament goes on now as well. So it's fairly open. Like none of them, except for Italy, I think are really, you know, setting the world on fire. Like, you know, so it's kind of hard to call.
Belgium could be always like,
yes,
you know, they're a dark horse as well. Like I'm looking at that table now and I'm kind of seeing, you know, Croatia could cause Spain problems. I definitely do believe Croatia could cause Spain problems.
The Netherlands as well have been outstanding.
Netherlands have been good. Netherlands have been good. I do see, like, I'm looking on that side and I'm thinking it's Germany, Netherlands, personally. You know, Sweden look like they're kind of last minute hitters as well. You know, they seem to be playing fairly decent. I mean, I'm delighted for Shevchenko that he's got Ukraine into the knockout stages. Fair play.
Yeah, unreal.
And a decent draw against Sweden.
Yeah, and Wales, by the way. Shout out to Wales and Denmark. Obviously, Denmark were phenomenal.
Yeah.
The other night, I mean,
unbelievable.
You know, especially on the back of what happened to you know,
Eriksson.
Yeah, it was just so it's an interesting tournament here now, lads, isn't it? Because
it is.
I mean, what would you guys say personally? I think the tie of the group, other than obviously England, Germany, because of the history there, it's got to be Belgium, Portugal, right? You know.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Belgium, Portugal. I still think I think you're right on that. That Sweden Ukraine toy is going to be a real good toy.
Yeah,
isn't it? Yeah. Like, because it's just
I just have a feeling that either one of those teams that wins that match can cause a problem for either England or Germany. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, without a doubt. Like when Belgium show up, I mean, they have such a strong squad, and Lukaku, he's looking sharp. You know, he's looking sharp when he's on. He's really great.
How many goals he got at the moment?
Kaku, 3.
So
3, is it?
Him and Havertz are tied for top goal scorer, then, aren't they?
Is it, or is it? Has Mobley got 4?
I'm not sure. Let me check that out now. While you are talking, I'll check that out.
Absolutely.
I'm on the phone, so I can't check anything, and my memory is the absolute shits.
Is there? I suppose the question really is there a chance that we get like one of these out of the box teams out of nowhere that could potentially win it, or do we see that happening?
There's usually always one. Out of who's there? It's like you were saying, mate. I'm not sure. Like I was thinking about England in that regard. Like England were kind of the out of the box one for me, because they're like they've been a little bit wobbly here or there on the defense, but like they've been pretty strong. I just think if they can get the cutting edge up front, I don't know. I don't necessarily see them winning it, but I think they'll go far enough.
I can't see it because I just think his tactics are so negative, and I'm like I can't understand. Has anyone worked out the Jadon Sancho conundrum? What's he got, 5 minutes so far in the tournament? This guy is supposed to be one of the best players on the planet, 100 million plus evaluation, all this kind of thing. Everyone's raving for him, everyone wants to sign him, but yet they don't want to play him. No, Southgate. He's literally had 5 minutes in the whole tournament, Jadon Sancho.
Yeah, I'm looking at the top scorers here. I think the English media, once again, I forgot to put a Germany player in it. It must be just the fact that they're about to get hammered, because Ronaldo is the top scorer with 5 goals.
Yeah.
Patrick Schick is in second. Well, there's a couple of joint seconds. There's Patrick Schick, Emil Forsberg, Gini Wijnaldum, Lukaku, Lewandowski, and for some reason, Kai Havertz isn't even on the list, even though he scored 3 goals. But they made sure to put that little numpty Raheem Sterling on there, who even Tottenham wouldn't take. Ciro Immobile is on 2. actually, Niall.
Oh, is he? He's only on 2, is he?
He's on 2 now. Unless this isn't updated, but this was an hour ago. So
Yeah, no, that'd be close to the mark. All
yeah,
right,
but Kai Havertz, apparently, once you're German, you don't make the list. So
I was gonna say maybe they're doing it alphabetical, but then I'm thinking Raheem Sterling, Kai Havertz.
Then again, that's British media, isn't it? They are the worst kind. I love any opportunity I have to say to British media.
They are. I mean,
especially
the
Sun. Especially the Sun.
Oh, absolutely.
The what?
But like they're the ones that sabotage the team nearly every fucking time. They mount so much pressure on the team. You know, I think. Look, that's not necessarily an excuse, but like.
Well, here's a question for you on the back of that, Jono. Like Gareth Southgate, right? Other than wearing the most ridiculous looking gear, because I mean, look. He can wear what he wants. He still looks like a fucking ugly 1980s flip-flop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like literally, you can put out whatever you want on that man. He's still gonna look like something you would find at the bottom of the sea.
Just on that point, he actually reminds me of. Did either of you watch the Gotham TV show?
Yeah.
He reminds me of the guy that plays
Penguin.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he is, man. He looks like a bottom feeding fucking prawn. Like he's absolutely shocking. But like you can put a waistcoat on. Remember that was his gimmick at the World Cup was the waistcoat.
Yeah.
And now he's got like the shirt buttoned up and he's like he won't take it off. If he was managing a Premier League team, trust me, he would literally get that team as close to relegation as possible. He is not a good manager. I mean, if I was looking at someone like with new ideas and stuff like that, I'd almost be saying Frank Lampard's free. Do you know what I mean? Look what he done with Derby. Look what he done with Chelsea. At the end of the day, you can say it didn't work out, but he certainly didn't have his team near relegation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Even Gerrard, look at what he's done at Rangers as well. Like,
Gerrard
as much as it pains me to say it. You know.
I think the thing with Southgate, I think the FA look at Southgate and they see him as kind of being a kind of a safe bet.
Well, they're yes men. The FA like to sign yes men.
But it's not only yes men, but I think he's a very safe bet insofar as you're not going to get a whole lot of controversy with him, but you're not going to get sort of either way. You know what I mean? You're going to land somewhere in the middle.
I think he fancies himself, though, doesn't he? He fancies himself as like a Wacom Love back in the day. Like he really doesn't. I mean, he copies. You can see he goes and studies. Like that tree at the back thing when he went for a while. He was there at Cobham at Chelsea for a long time, studying Conte's tree at the back, and he was doing that. And like Harry Maguire was going to be the savior of this. I mean, I'm baffled as to how. I'm sorry, Jono, but I'm baffled as to how people he improved a little bit in the season, but he's still fucking shocking.
At 80 million.
Yeah, 80 million, you know what I mean?
But you're talking
he did improve kind of from the new year. He did make a big difference
from what he was, yeah.
Yeah, but he when he went out with injury towards the end of the season, we really did miss him again. It was actually very apparent that he was gone, but still 80 million. I don't know.
Like, is he like Vidic, John Terry level?
Fuck no! Oh my God, no way! Oh, especially Vidic. I mean, like Vidic is probably being my top 3 all-time favorite players. I forgot to mention him actually when me and Niall did the episode before on my favorite players list. But
well, as good as Vidic is, he wasn't quite John Terry. But anyway, we move on.
Oh, I won't even go there.
I think we would.
I think Terry was definitely better on the ball for sure, but like, I think Vidic was just that warrior. Like, I mean, he would just dive. And Terry was. So was Terry. Yeah, no, I'm not saying he wasn't at all.
But, you're making Terry out to be like fucking Franco Baresi here. Like, I don't want to be touched.
No. Oh, Jesus, I'd rank Terry right up there as well.
That's the best defensive partnership in Premier League history if you're playing fantasy football. But anyway.
So you're gonna get the chance here to play fantasy now because we're gonna go down through the round of 16 and you have to give me your picks.
Oh yeah.
Oh, good one.
So
I like it.
Wales versus Denmark.
I'll let you go first, John.
I think that's a tricky one because with like the wave of emotion and everything behind Denmark, you know, like they played with so much passion in the last match. Like, so I think they might sneak it. I'm torn though, because I'd really like to see both of them go far. But I'd say when it comes down to it, I think Denmark might just edge it just based on that factor, even though Wales are probably a slightly better team.
Ian?
Yeah, my nanny has Wales. It's actually funny. In the little family group, I'm kind of going, Jesus, I'd love my nanny to get Wales. But yeah, I suppose with everything with Christian Eriksen, he kind of, I think the whole kind of world is kind of on Denmark's side in that sense.
The wave of emotion.
Yeah. So I could see, if Gareth Bale and Aaron Ramsey turn up, and it'll be an interesting game. But I have a feeling that Denmark will sneak that.
Yeah, I think they might have a bit too much of them. I'm looking at Wales there, and there's not a whole lot of depth there, really.
No.
And if Bale doesn't show up, well, then they don't show up.
Ampadu is a pretty good player as well in the midfield alongside Ramsey. I like looking at the two of them, but there's not much behind it, is there?
No. The next one, I think I obviously know the answer: Italy versus Austria. We're not looking at an upset there.
I'm not even going to comment,
they were going to fly through.
Can you imagine after the group stages they've had and how they've played, and all of a sudden Austria put them out? Jesus Christ.
I know. It would be crazy, man.
So we're going Denmark, Italy. So we've agreed so far. I think this one answers itself as well. Maybe England versus Germany. I know I'm going with the Germans. I know Ian's going with the Germans. John, I have a funny feeling you might pick the English on this one, are you?
Oh man, I think it's going to be tight. I think it is going to come down to that. I think it'll be a very stagnant kind of a game, and like I could almost see that going to extra time penalties. But I think throughout it, I think Germany will probably snag it.
Well, we know
Timo Werner with the arse goal. I'm calling it right now.
I'm like I'm seriously thinking penalties. I'm serious.
I think it's going to be a bit of a stalemate.
Winner.
And you know what it is? I'd fear for the likes of a Jadon Sancho or a Jude Bellingham or someone like that. You know what I mean? It would just destroy their career.
Well, they're going to have a scapegoat one way or the other. Yeah. Like they always have somebody, like, going back to fucking Beckham and 98 World Cup, and there just always seems to be somebody, like,
I'm actually kind of glad that Mason Mount and Ben Chilwell are out for this.
That's actually a good call. Maybe we could get a red card in the game. That's actually a good show, Jonathan. Yeah, that could happen.
You never know.
Yeah.
Next up, Netherlands versus Czech Republic. I think it has to be the Netherlands, doesn't it?
I think the Czechs will give them some issues. Like, again,
I think so too.
I think when it's a knockout game, like, I don't know what the Netherlands have really, because I'm going to be honest, like, they don't have a lot up front, do they?
Memphis is up there. Memphis, the boy is.
He's a great player. Yeah.
But he's in good form as well. He just went for Barcelona.
Did he? Shit! I was hoping he'd come back.
Noel, loads of players are signing for Barcelona. Barcelona aren't Barcelona anymore.
Yeah, but I mean, if you've just won the French league with Lille and you get a move to Barcelona, I mean, you're going to be feeling good about yourself and your football, aren't you?
You could be, yeah. But at the same time, your man Schick, who plays for Roma, he's a good target man. He's about 6'3", 6'4". He's not a bad player.
Do you know what I find with him? He's a target man, right? And they play the ball into him. But they play really, really good balls into him. He's a great hold-up player as well.
Yeah.
But then the rest of the team don't come to meet him and play with him. He's always on his own.
I know. And he's got 3 goals this tournament as well.
But it's like as if the rest of the team don't realise he's the hold-up player and you have to move forward to support him.
Like your wingers. You need to bring your wing. He's trying to bring your wingers into play here, and nothing's happening.
I seen him the other night. He took a ball down and like he was surrounded by 3 lads, and the rest of the team just left him there. And like he still kept the ball, but no one thought to run on and support the play.
You do it, Mr. Schick, no problem.
Just beat the 3 of them and score. Like.
We trust you. We trust you.
Big lad as well. Big lad as well.
No, I would say Netherlands. Yeah, that's it. He's a bit of a Drogba. I like the look of him. But I would say Netherlands, would have a little bit too much.
The infighting hasn't started yet with the Netherlands.
No, it will. But this could be the game. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I'm. Do you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna say Czech Republic.
You're sitting there in an orange t-shirt and you're picking the Czech Republic over the Netherlands. Never give up, huh?
Oh,
This is my message to the Czech Republic fans. Come on.
Jonathan, who are you picking?
Oh man, I think that's tight as well because like Modric can always come up with fucking piece of greatness then as
There's
well.
only one problem there, though, Jono. Modric plays for Croatia.
Oh, Croatia! Sorry. Yeah.
I had to do it. I'm sorry.
He went on a free transfer. Look, if it's good enough for Laporte, it's good enough for Modric.
Hey, absolutely.
Oh man, yeah,
Good enough for Grealish. It's good enough.
That's part of the course for me. My fucking memories, the shit. But yeah, probably Netherlands. I mean, they can be kind of shaky when it comes to knockouts
Knockout
as
football.
well.
Yeah.
So like, but if they turn up, I think they'll go through.
That, on a side note, that got my back up the other day. Did you see Declan Rice banging out that English national anthem before that game the other night? It absolutely caught me up. I was going to switch the fucking thing off.
You know what? When I hear him linked with Chelsea, I'm like, no. Jorginho all day, every day. And in fairness, Jorginho, this tournament has probably been one of the standout players as well.
Yeah, he's playing in a really good Italian side that are playing
unbelievable
really football. Yeah.
And he's a Champions League winner. Just throwing that in.
Why not? Plum tie of the round, I'd imagine. Belgium versus Portugal.
Oh,
sentimentally,
that's difficult, man.
Like I want Portugal to win it out, like because I absolutely just love Ronaldo. Well, I'm kind of between. No, I'm going with Portugal. Like I love Italy as well, but. I mean, this is going to be Ronaldo's last Euros, like, so it'd be cool to see him win it again, like, and
it may not be his last Euros the way things are going.
Well, yeah, you never freaking know.
Can play forever, like,
yeah. Ah, geez, he's a freaking phenom, like, but yeah, I think, I'll go with Portugal.
I'm going to go the opposite. I'm going to go with Belgium. And I have a feeling that Hazard might turn it on a little bit because he's getting those little games.
Which one now, him or the brother?
Either or.
The brother's been playing well as well.
Yeah, but I have a feeling Eden might just roll back the clock a little bit to a year ago and maybe show Real Madrid why they bought him. I mean, that's the hope anyway. I think Lukaku up front has a lot as well. Like, I mean,
yeah.
I think, again, I don't think Bruno has shown up. Maybe Bruno might show up in the knockouts. I mean, I definitely wouldn't put it past him. But, when Bruno's not the star of the show, because how can you be when Ronaldo's in town? I don't know. I just think Lukaku, to me, just looks like a lad who can score whenever he wants.
Yeah.
And I think if you get Eden Hazard now fit for these, for these knockout games, which it looks like he's starting to get more minutes, and he's starting to integrate at the top. Good Lord, Hazard can just switch on a piece of brilliance like that, can't he?
Yeah.
And De Bruyne is back as well.
Yeah, I'm thinking Belgium as well. I think it'll be the Lukaku show. I think he'll bring that Inter Milan form in against those.
Yeah, I have a feeling. Yeah, I'm going to go with Belgium too.
Yeah, and Portugal are that bit shaky at the back as well.
Yeah.
So
well, Pepe is always. I mean, Lukaku was bouncing him around all day long, and your man just hold his face. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That fucking move to Inter, just like I'm so nervous when people talk about like Martial and stuff leaving United because it'll probably be the same story. Sure, even with Lingard, it was the same. Like they gave him out on loan, like and he's just. He's firing on all cylinders. Lukaku's just become a completely different player. Like, bugs my balls.
United now the anti-football club. Here's a very interesting toy, lads. Croatia versus Spain. Neither team kind of firing on all cylinders at all.
I am going with Croatia on this.
Are you really? Yeah.
Yeah. Because they're my team. In both fucking rounds, I got them in the family group, but I also got them in your group, Noel. Thank you very much. I don't know. Actual Luka Modric will be playing for this team.
I was actually going to joke. I was going to start off with Modric does play for them now, doesn't he?
But Kovacic as well. Like they have some. Like that's a midfield pair in and of itself, right? Kovacic and Modric and. as good as Spain are with some of the midfield parents that they have, they don't seem to have settled on a team.
No.
I mean, Morata, it's amazing, 3 years later to look at Morata and see how still shit he is. And it's no wonder that, like, Atletico Madrid must be mental. They actually paid 60 million to Chelsea for Morata after Chelsea paid 50. And the absolute abomination of that move, the fact that Marina Granitskaya got 10 million more than what she paid, it to me baffles me. And now he's on loan again at Juve. So
Yeah.
I don't understand it. I mean, I think Morata is. I don't know, Noel. You had to say about that?
Yeah, would you give Spain slightly the same treatment that we spoke about Germany, that it gets very serious when you get into the knockout stages?
Well, yeah, I would.
Now, the only thing I would say about it, and if you haven't done it already, lads, go and look at that Spain squad there now, right? And compare that Spain squad to the Spain squad, I think, that won the Euros or the World Cup, whatever it was.
That dominated.
Yeah, I was looking at that squad today compared to this squad, and it's like chalk and cheese. It's unbelievable.
You know what? Spain would probably, put in a transfer request for Billy Gilmore to come in and play the Javi role.
Oh, I'll tell you. It's yeah, I don't know. And it's like Morata up front and Gerard Moreno, who had an unbelievable season sitting on the bench.
What's the deal with that?
I don't know. And I believe now there's rumblings at the moment as well. I believe the Spanish press are going in hard on Luis Enrique, big time, and I'm not surprised.
I think he's a bit of a chancer as well, just like Guardiola. I think he is. Like, obviously, Guardiola at least has the trophies to back up his decisions. I don't think Luis Enrique, other than his Barcelona success, really has. Because don't forget, Luis Enrique still had pretty much most of the core of that Barcelona team.
Yeah.
To kind of get him through that. After that, what he's living off the back of that.
But they're relying on that young lad as well, Pedri as well. Like, he's only 18. Like, he's.
But Ferran Torres had to come on today for Morata just to get a fucking goal.
Yeah,
do you know
absolutely.
what I mean?
No, I mean, having said that, they did win 5-0 today. So.
Oh no, yeah, but like still, they. I don't know. I just don't trust them. I wouldn't be putting my money on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's an interesting one. I think I'd go with Croatia.
Yeah, I'm going with Croatia.
Yeah, me too.
I think they just have a bit too much. So
I think they might have a bit more steel in the midfield, and that's why I'm going with them. Just so people don't think I'm doing it for, I'd rather say the reasons why I'm making that pick. I just think that Croatia have a bit more bite and steel in that midfield. They're good at the back as well. Maybe not as kind of good up front as someone like Marino would be, for example. And yeah, he's on the bench, and Thiago is on the fucking bench. I mean, go figure. What's that about?
Yeah, Thiago's not on the pitch, and this Pedri kid who's 18, and I know he's outstanding talent.
Yeah, but like Thiago, you want that experience. You know what I mean?
You've no playmaker in the middle of the park at all. Like,
oh my goodness.
We still haven't had a shock yet. Let's move into the last two toys: France versus Switzerland. My head all day here would tell me France, but could we get a shock?
I don't know. France do not. It looks like France are feeling the pressure. Like Paul Pogba, without N'Golo Kante, he's just normal, isn't he? Like, I can see. I'm looking at him now. When the chips are down, man, he is nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, it's when they get into the battle, all right. I think when it's free flowing and things are going for them, I think Kante is pivotal in that way. I was only discussing it with Ben today, how Kante just sits in that role for France. Whereas with Chelsea, it's so different. Now he's box to box. And I'm thinking they should nearly put Pogba sitting in that role and let Kante go do his thing. And France would be way more successful.
Because that's almost the role the role he has with Bruno. And like that meshes so well with the two of them. So it probably is a matter of that, I think, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, like it's crazy when you think, because you're talking about an actual Ballon d'Or candidate this year with N'Golo Kante. Like he's up there, he's in the mix, or he's at least going to get top 3 anyway. And yeah, this love-in with the media with Pogba because he puts different hairstyles every week is fucking crazy. Like, you hear Roy Keane talking about it, and he goes, "No, give me Kante all day long."
Yeah,
Like this lad is just.
Yeah, I think the beauty with Pogba as well is like he's a journalist strain because he creates hassle. He has an agent who's a head case and just loves putting stuff out there.
And hasn't got an original thought in his body. Like he comes out then 2 days later and gets rid of a Heineken because I don't like alcohol to copy fucking Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Little does he realize that the bottles that he's taken down off the desk are 0% alcohol. They're the 0% ones, you absolute numpty.
God, that's brilliant. I didn't know that. That's
do you know what I mean?
hilarious.
They're the blue. Yeah. Do you know the blue label Heineken?
Yeah.
This is what he takes. Oh, I don't like Heineken. And you're like, mate, you're actually not at that level yet. Fucking influence people. Fuck off.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's hilarious.
You know what? I wish the man the most misery on the football pitch than anyone because he's just a numpty. Like I really do. And that doesn't mean I wish United the misery. Although I do, being a champion.
But you can see from a mile away, he's winding that United contract down to go on a free.
He's just
not.
He's the epitome of a snake. Do you know what he is?
Yeah.
He's the exact same type of person as Thibaut Courtois.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been dying for Thibaut Courtois to get that ligament damage for years now, and it's not happened. I mean, he is no, yeah, you're right. Jesus won't help him in this one. The amount of fucking spells I've tried to cast on this man, he is the snakiest of snakes. But it's about time that because United can do better than that. Absolute numpty.
Yeah,
and the beak. I mean, there's a young lad's career that's just been absolutely demolished.
It's terrible. I don't know. Yeah, with Pogba, like all that stuff with his agent. I mean, it's just. And it would come at the worst times as well. It might come, when we were on a good spell, and then he'll come out like, it's my dream to one day play with Madrid or
he's a
whatever.
He's just
it's so bad. Like it's so bad for morale.
If France go out of the tournament, you'll get an avalanche of this now for the whole summer. He'll be talking about where he should be playing. The club has let him down. Blah 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 blah.
Man United have not one bit. From an outsider looking in, anyway, I've not one bit let this Pogba lad down. Pogba is just an infidel and needs to fuck off.
Giving him everything, like I mean,
he's a clown. If that was Ferguson, he'd be like, "Off you go."
But there's a reason why Ferguson got rid of him in the first place. It was all because of his attitude. I mean, the guy has like tons of natural ability and everything.
He looks like a fucking numpty, anyway. Those hairdos are ridiculous.
I don't think if Fergie was still there, he would have got back in. There's no doubt about it.
No, not a chance. Yeah, not a chance.
So, having said all that, are you both going for France?
Yeah, I still go for France.
I'm going for Switzerland.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, really?
I actually think this is going to be the shock of the tournament.
I think so.
Maybe.
I think they're going out. Going out.
Switzerland is kind of weird that way.
Unless they play Giroud up front in the last 10 minutes.
To secure the draw.
Yeah. Then they go out on penalties. No, I'm going to go for Switzerland as well. I don't know.
Well, I hope Switzerland win it, but I'd say Francis will probably nab it.
Shaqiri with a last-minute winner.
No one likes the French anyway. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sweden versus Ukraine to round it out.
This is a good one.
You have to stay with Shevchenko, don't you? You can't change.
Yeah. I mean, I like he's one of my favorite footballers of all time, and I do love Sweden as well because, as you know, I'm a big hockey fan. I've got the Calgary Flames, and there's lots of great Swedes that play there. I love some of the Swedish players. Love Henrik Larsson. Love Zlatan. But I gotta say, I gotta go with my boy Shevchenko.
Yeah. This is where you're deciding now between the Flaming Puck or the Chelsea Roar. You got to balance this out.
It's the Chelsea Roar.
John, what do you do?
Yeah,
I like what you're doing to me there, actually.
Yeah. I think it'll be a tight game. I think it'll actually be a decent game. I think it'll be one of the better ones. It's kind of a dark horse match, but I think Ukraine for me as well. I love Shevchenko.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with the Ukraine. I just think they're too powerful for Sweden, to be honest. I know people have been talking a lot about your man Alexander Isak and stuff like that, but
He doesn't look that much.
No, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, why are people so excited about this guy?
Yeah.
Like he ran through there. I seen him a couple of times there last night as well, where he ran through and he had chances and he just turned back in. He didn't bother. Like,
Did you see the like the media coming out today going, if Chelsea don't get Haaland, they might look at Isaac.
I mentioned that on our transfer show as well. And
I think I might look at Lingard as a striker instead, please.
Or just don't look at anyone. Just wait for Haaland. You'll get him eventually.
What the fuck? Yeah, I mean that's happening. I'd imagine so anyway. But like,
okay. So the only one we're different on, I suppose, is Jonathan. You picked Germany as well, did you? Or did
Yeah,
you
I pick, most likely, but I just wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be all that surprised if England snuck it. I think it's going to be like Ian was saying, like, you know, it's going to come down to that one kind of fluke scenario, or else it'll end up going to penalties, I think.
Yeah. And so the only differential then is, Ian, you picked the Czech Republic, didn't you, against Netherlands?
Yep.
Yeah. And then France, we both picked Switzerland and Jonathan picked France. So that's the only difference in this. So yeah, it'd be interesting to get you back on then after the round of 16, see how we did.
Yeah,
it was fantasy stuff.
I think I'm predicting for that England game. I'm predicting 3-1 personally. I think Kai Havertz is going to put them to the fucking sword.
Do you know who loves those England games? Do you know who really loves them? Thomas Muller. Muller loves those England games, doesn't he?
And I think you look at Thomas Muller when he's playing on the pitch with Havertz, especially the Portugal game. Yeah. He's guiding him. He's like, go on. You know what I mean? He's giving him that, like, and Havertz looks like he doesn't be interested.
Yeah.
But he just does everything. Like, even that goal tonight, can we take a step back to look at that goal? Getting himself in there, in the big fucking situations. Yeah. I was like, that's the Chelsea way.
Isn't it amazing? It's amazing with Havertz as well, isn't it? The way he drifts out of a game and then he suddenly switches on and boom. And it's just...
I think a lot of English journalists are calling him like a generational talent because he's been known as that for quite a while, and I think we're only scratching the surface with Kai Havertz realistically of what he can do. But good Lord, he was an attacking midfielder, but now you're starting to see him as a striker, kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, those 2 goals against Portugal, that was proper sniper.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. He's actually the midfielder making those runs that your man Schick wishes he had when he's taking the ball down and stuff like that.
So like when I turn around and say if we don't get Haaland, that's why I'm confident. I think he is the guy. I think he's the guy that can be. I think he can be almost striker level at this point. Just looking at the size of him when he fills out as well. I mean, he's 6'3". He's a big boy anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
and he's not afraid to put himself in there. So I don't know. I'm predicting a Germany-Italy final. I really am.
So who would you pick them for the final?
Italy.
Wow.
Yeah. If it comes down to Germany and Italy, I'd back Italy on that one.
The funny thing about it is, I ordered 2 jerseys the other day, and I ordered a Italy jersey, and I was like, you know, everyone knows me as a Del Piero guy.
Oh, that's fucking bad.
But I was like, Del Piero doesn't play anymore. I was like, who's the guy? And I was like, I'm gonna have to get Jorginho number 8. I'm gonna have to because I'm a Chelsea man. And so I got Jorginho number 8, and I got the Germany jersey, and I got Havertz number 7. So
Del Piero and Pirlo were always my Italian guys.
And Totti as well. Even though he was a Roma fuck, I still love him.
So, and you got to admire the loyalty. You know, he was there for so long. Like what a freaking player. But no, that's gas. I've literally never met anybody else like that, like had Del Piero in that.
Oh, you know, Noel, I tell you, I have all the long sleeve Del Piero Juve jerseys from '94.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's class. That's really cool.
My first pair of boots when I got back to football at 15 years old were the red Predators, the Del Piero ones. The number 10.
No way.
And I ordered them from Football Italian magazine.
Holy shit.
Yeah, my dad, thank God, it was my dad that paid for them. But thanks, Dad.
There was talk at one stage he was going to try out the Roberto Baggio rat's tail as well, but he didn't go quite that far.
it got there a little bit. I just didn't get the beads. That's all. Oh, I'm proper fucking Italian football man. Like.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
So
lads,
if we're thinking, what would you say, Noel, if you were looking at that, right? Just in general, if you're thinking, like, who do you predict to be in the semis and the final?
well, I nailed my master Belgium at the beginning, and that's who I said I think is going to win the tournament. So I'm kind of going to stick with that in terms of being in the final.
I thought you were going to go Bobby the Brain on it, like, and change if you.
No. I'm sticking. I'm kind of sticking with Belgium. I think Belgium. I think Belgium are going to get to the final. I think it's time that the maturity of that Belgian side actually found its place, if you like, in history.
So do you think what I'm saying about Hazard then as well could be a thing where you might see Hazard get that little bit of rejuvenation during this tournament now when the knockout stages?
I think based on the situation he's had at Real Madrid, I think he needs to find himself in this tournament to put himself out there again.
And when the chips are down, we know Eden can do it. Like,
100%.
I just think Belgium have a lot of that quality in there as well that more often than not doesn't get spoken about.
I'd agree.
They have a lot of really, really good players there that we tend to sometimes forget that they have. But I just think with Belgium, I just think they have a kind of a gnarly way of quietly going about their business under the radar, if you like, And I just think for them, I think it's their time to shine. That's what I think. I think there's a lot. I mean, obviously Italy have been outstanding, Netherlands have been outstanding, but I think with the Netherlands, as good as they've been, I think if you're relying on Gini Wijnaldum, and no disrespect to Gini Wijnaldum, I'm a Liverpool supporter, I think you have a problem there in a big tournament like this when you start getting into the latter stages of it. Yeah. That's just what I think. So
if you had Van Dijk at the back there, I think it's a different conversation. As much, and like, I'm not just saying that because you're a Liverpool man. I think we're all football fans here. I think Nathan Ake just doesn't quite cut it. There's a reason Nathan Ake has been a sub most of the season. They don't have that leadership that someone like a Virgil can give you.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the great Netherlands teams of the past, I mean, it was always the three. You had Van Basten at the top, you had Hullet in the midfield and Rijkaard. And Hullet and Rijkaard could play both. They could play either midfield or defense. Yeah. I think now you're just looking at Wijnaldum and then hopefully Memphis. But I mean, has Memphis lit the fucking league, lit the tournament on fire yet? No.
He has been, in fairness, he has been decent though. He has been decent.
I know, but what I'm saying is, like, listen, I'll never forget the best goal I've ever seen in my entire life, other than, the Maradona England goal, but where he the hand of God. No. I mean that volley. Good Lord.
Yeah.
Do they have that type of player? I don't think so.
Well, I mean, if you look at their table there, 1-3, goal difference, 8-4, 2 against, 6 goal difference.
But look at their group compared to. Look at their group.
Yeah, but you've Austria and Ukraine in there that are staunch enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, but they're all right. Like they're all right, but like I mean, Germany came through a tough fucking group tonight. You know what I mean? Like, It's kind of, I don't know. I was looking at Italy there when people were telling me that Italy were going to be tested against Turkey. I think you mentioned Turkey at the start. I just wanted to go back to that. Turkey were good. Italy deflated them. They literally pissed on their bonfire. That's what happened to Turkey.
Yeah, but they were terrible all the way through. Like, it wasn't even that first game. They were absolutely terrible.
Yeah, but look, how good is Italy's defense? You can't, like, I'm sorry, Bonucci and Cellini.
Yeah, but then you're looking at 2-0 then against Wales, which are kind of a poor side, and then you're looking at 3-1 against Switzerland. With Shaqiri getting 2.
But you're looking at the nil though. Do you know what I mean? And then you're looking at, and don't forget when Cellini got injured.
Yeah. But you're looking when you look at that group there. I mean, I'm sure when that draw was made, Turkey would have been looking at the going, I'm all right with that. You know what I mean? Italy, Wales, Switzerland, and Turkey, like, and they only have to really get a top 3 in reality. You know what I mean? Well, they would have been looking at that.
And there was no buzz about Italy before the tournament at all. The majority of the people that I heard were pretty much writing them off.
Well, the concern was whether the youth could blend with the the experience. And
I
Boy
think
has a
your man
blend
Bernardeschi has to fucking be dropped because I mean he didn't score one goal this year with Juventus, not one. I think Chiesa is a quality little player. I think Immobile is a great player. I think
oh yeah, Mobley's very good.
your man, what's number 9 fucking that plays with
Insigne?
Torino? No, they're the other striker that played against Wales. What was his name? Fucking hell. Belotti.
Yeah.
He looks like a bit of a unit as well. He looks like an interesting player. He reminded me a bit of Vialli, actually.
Yeah.
He has that kind of like he tracked back, and I just think the Italians work for each other.
Yeah.
I think with
Yes.
Verratti and Jorginho, and what's the other geezer's name there that's playing in there? Fucking, I think Juve have already signed him. Juve always get these deals done. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, do you know what I liked about Italy as well? They haven't gone into this tournament with this kind of 1-0 attitude and then lock it down. They're actually playing progressive football and they're trying to score more goals, which in theory is not really the Italian way. Normally it would be get out there, get your goal, and let's put this block up and let's see.
Oh, the old school Italian way was they would play counter-attack football and really nice counter-attack football. You know, the Italians were always known as a stylish team, as in like they passed the ball beautifully. But they wouldn't be, as you say, no, they wouldn't be that Barcelona team that like have the high block that would push on, even with Maldini and all back in the day. Yeah. But when you get the ball, they keep the possession really nicely, and you know, they pass it about.
There's a confidence about them as well, isn't there? When you have Chiellini and Bonucci at the back as well, like that breeds that confidence, because those two boys are just defensive royalty when you think about it. You know what I mean?
How have you seen in modern years? Have you seen a better long ball passer than Bonucci? My God.
No. And
he's
I like
a different level.
I like the point you make about the Italians as well when you talk about the players they have to bring on, because they don't have too many. You know, they don't have that out of box star like a Ronaldo or something like that.
Well, they don't have a Del Piero anymore.
So what they do have is they have a nice mix there of really, really good players, and they have a nice blend to come off the bench as well. That's kind of nearly like for like.
Yeah.
So I like that. So that they could be really. It's hard, really, when we talk about Italy and we talk about them being a dark horse, isn't it? It's like it's weird. It feels weird as well, you know.
I think the thing that really works for them as well is the fact that you kind of touched on it there a minute ago, Ian, is the fact that they're nearly always a unit, that they play for each other. There's a great thing in the Italian culture there, where there's never these kind of French, Netherlands kind of team of individuals type things that happens where egos clash and all that, you know, nonsense that happens. Like, and that looks, I mean, I'm hearing like stuff that's happening with France already, like, you know, that there's infighting there. And I think you were mentioning that it's there with the Netherlands as well. So that seems to happen with a lot of those teams, but sometimes they have such good players and such good teams that they can kind of, you know, kind of counterbalance that. Like, whereas Italy are always stable. They're always that stable unit that play with, you know, proper kind of cohesion, like, you know, so that might end up making a big difference in this as well. It depends on whether like the likes of France and Netherlands freaking implode or not, you know.
Yeah. I just want to add as well that they're the Italians and the Germans, they both have a Champions League winner on their team this year as well. So
yeah. I do like as well. Do you know what I like with the Italians as well? I like no matter what's going
nicely on, snuck in there, but
But do you know when you see what's going on in the world of international kits and stuff like that? The Italian kit is so iconic. It always looks so retro, doesn't it? Even the white one or the blue one, like you got a buzz when you walk out onto the pitch. Like
my favorite is like when they do wear the away one is when they wear it with the blue shorts.
Yeah,
it just reminds me of 1994 USA 94. Like it's like, you know, it's just so fucking beautiful. Like it's I think Germany and Italy as well. I always look at them, and obviously France as well. I'm just looking at the teams that are in it there. I mean, same with Germany. I think Germany, you know, I would love to see an Italian England final, just so the Italians could absolutely slaughter them. And you know what I mean? Just so, and then here, we got to the final, but you see, the thing is, the English media, that wouldn't work for them. You know, we would go, we got to the final. That's a fucking big achievement. Whereas the British media would be like, fucking bottlers. They'd open up.
Yeah. They'd be burning
open up.
effigies outside somebody's fucking house anyway, for sure.
Yeah, they'd open up on their own team. Like, you know,
Yeah.
Gareth Southgate would be like his position would be untenable.
They open up on the team before the match even happens. Forget
I
about
know.
waiting for the result. They'd be going
Yeah.
in on the team before the final even happens. It's
Crazy.
mad. Yeah. But listen, lads, it's been a pleasure reviewing the Euros. We will get you both back on for the quarters when it happens, and we'll see how right or how wrong we were, whether we know anything about football.
Yeah, hopefully Madrid
probably
gets Czech Republic through.
yeah. I can see now Denmark, Austria, England, Czech Republic, Portugal, Spain, Switzerland, and Ukraine all going through. It'd be crazy.
Yeah, Denmark, Hungary final, or Denmark, Switzerland final.
Imagine.
Oh, man.
God, yeah. How happy
great.
would the sponsors be? Yeah. Empty stadium. We'd even get tickets for that. It's like,
Oh yeah, I'd go.
absolutely.
Hell
Lads,
yeah.
pleasure as always. Dynamo Podcast Network on YouTube for the videos. Anchor for audio versions of the show. If you want to hit us up on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, the upper tier. Pleasure, lads. Appreciate you coming on for our Euro 2020 roundup. Cheers, boys.
Cheers, lads.